I didn't induce a kid to come to the U.
Can't do that.
Be here because this is where you want to be. But once you're here, I had you. And that's it. And I stand on it. And have I not said it 1,000 times?
Let me tell you, this is a recruiting story. Mario recruiting story. Recruiting a guy named Smith out of Pahokee. He played at Florida State.
Antoine Smith. I was involved in. I
Antoine Smith.
know that story very well.
And Mario says to me, "This is probably why he won't hire me, to help him with special teams and be a consultant. That's probably why he won't do it."
I'll take this blame for you. Don't worry,
But listen,
let's just put it on me.
I go up there with Mario, and we got a pretty good room now. Now Smith ain't very big. He's a good ball player.
5'8", 5'7".
Yeah, he's small,
short,
but he's a good ball player.
Yeah.
So we go up there and we go into his house, and Mario starts talking to him, and the first question he says, "This is Coach Solidger, running back. He's got any questions for Coach Solidger?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "Who's sitting in your room?" I said, "I don't talk to kids that ask me that." I said, "I'm here because I think you could play at Miami. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here." I said, "You want to compete and bust your butt?" I said, "We got good players sitting in my room. You want to come here and compete? I want you. If you ask me about that, you probably don't want to compete. But I ain't guaranteeing you anything but an opportunity." and so he's a Seminole.
The next
He
morning.
ain't in the league.
Listen, the next morning. And that happened the next morning. So let me.
And Mario didn't like that too much.
Let me.
What year was this?
2005.
Maybe earlier.
Maybe
bit earlier.
4.
Yeah.
4.
3 or 4 maybe.
So we thought he was a done deal coming to the U.
That was because of me, probably.
All of a
But
sudden.
you know what? I don't want that kid.
Yeah.
And Mario, I think, I don't know, I hope Mario.
He's a running back.
Yeah.
And, Mario's doing that now. Mario's finding guys. He's really, he went away and got he's like on a sabbatical. He coached for Saban. He got the Oregon. I mean, he's done some unbelievable stuff now.
Schiano, when he was recruiting, and so I was a huge Mario fan, like going back, so when he was recruiting for Schiano, and he started getting a lot of these South Florida kids, I said, man, if you can get a South Florida kid to go to that shithole, you could sell fucking ice to an Eskimo.
Oh yeah,
right. And that's when I knew he was doing some good shit.
But he even got better. I mean, he's
because
really
his
good.
Tutelage. Look who he was under. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's gotten really good, and you know what? He is recruiting old school kids now. He's trying to give them an idea of what Miami. It's hard to talk. Even if Willis goes, did you ever talk to the running backs now? Did you ever talk to them now,
Yeah.
Willis? It's hard to explain what went on.
Yeah.
I mean, because you were involved. It's really difficult, man.
Yeah, man.
Guys weren't happy. They played. I said, don't screw up. I said, you get your opportunity. When you get your opportunity, make it count. He certainly did. Portis did. Frank did when he was young before he got injured. He was unbelievable. He was averaging 17 yards a carry in the first few games he played in. Frank was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to be He's
First
going to be in
ballot.
the Hall of Fame.
Deservedly. First ballot. No question.
And really, to me, this guy should be in the Hall of Fame. To me, he did, and why he did it, or how he did it, or he was pissed off, or whatever it was. He had an unbelievable season to me.
Yeah.
A season that says, look, he was telling me, look what you missed.
Yeah.
That's which is okay.
Yeah, NCAA
It made,
Hall of Fame.
am I right? and it was just that kind of season. And I didn't mind. I don't mind.
Here's a question that Mike has asked. I know I'm stealing your hosting duties.
That's fine. It's you're asking every question on my sheet, so it's fine.
Why has Miami? Okay, we know there's an Evan Shapiro factor. There's a statute of limitations and everything else.
Right.
I'm not the reason we're still not reached the level, but I accept my part of whatever. Why have we not gotten to the level that we've been accustomed to for so long? Why have we not reached there?
I'm going to say this to you, and I never have blown my own horn. I've been very lucky to be surrounded by great athletes, and I've been lucky to be with great coaches. But when you let a guy like Vernon Hargraves go, you let a guy like Art Kehoe go, that if you cut him is going to bleed orange and green.
Mm-hmm.
You let a guy like me go. I'm super loyal to this school. I didn't use this school like everybody else used it.
As a
they
stepping
used this
stone.
as a stepping stone
Yeah.
to go somewhere
Yeah.
else. I'm a Miami guy. If you look at Miami, and when Miami was successful, it was a Joe Brodsky, it was a Harold Allen, it was a Chris Vagotis, it was a Don Soldinger. I mean, it was somebody that was a local guy that understood the
Part of the fabric, man.
the fabric of what this
Yeah.
town's about and things
Right.
like that. They let us go. It hadn't been the same since.
That was one of the worst. Because I was very, very close to the scene when that whole cut bait situation happened with you and Coach Kehoe. And I fucking hated that, man. That became, and I'm not going to air it out, man, but I started some shit when that went down.
Well, I don't know why Larry did that. Want to go a different direction, because my kids not only played hard and did good, they all contributed back to the school. Portis did, Portis did that wing with,
Yeah.
Ron.
Yeah, his face is still up. Mine's gone.
Yeah. Yours is gone. Yours gone? The nerve-
Mine's in the janitor.
nerve
Mine's in the
of those
janitor's
guys.
room. Listen, if anyone finds my plaque, man, I'm paying for my plaque.
But Nevin, I looked at the ESPN thing with Belichick and Dabo Sweeney, and they kind of talk about what was super illegal back then is now legal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have got in trouble.
No, now they build me the whole museum.
You'd be a statue
Yeah,
outside the Orange
I'd be
Bowl.
like a Napoleon for real.
Exactly.
In real-
Exactly.
in
I mean,
real-
it's legal, and you know what? I feel that's. I know it was wrong,
Yeah.
and I didn't want it to interfere with the focus of my players and how we got. But you know what? They need that.
Man, it was.
It's not fair to them. They bust their ass, man.
Yeah.
You can't. They ain't like normal students. Put it that way.
Coach, a lot of people, not trying to put it on my scandal anymore, but a lot of people had made comments. Oh, the boat rides, the women. Man, there was so much behind the scenes, about just life and guidance. Forget the thrill rides and everything. There's a lot of guys that are either in the Hall of Fame, could go to the Hall of Fame, or were first round picks or hugely successful NFL careers that, had I not intervened in certain circumstances, they don't see those positions. I promise you, I know that.
That's okay.
They would all stand up and say it.
Yeah.
If they had to, like,
I mean, I know kids, like a kid's down here and say he's not from local, and his mother dies. You can't give him a plane ticket to go.
I mean, it's
that's stupid. I mean,
Yeah.
these guys are laying it on the line for you. This guy laid it on the line. When he played the way he played, well, I could walk out every game. I walked out and say, hey. Somebody would say, "Hey, you guys played pretty good." I said, "No shit."
Listen, you can use two former running backs as prime poster children examples. Melvin Bratton goes down with a knee injury, otherwise first round pick.
First round pick.
And this guy, who just by the grace of God and his own intestinal fucking fortitude,
Yeah. But he
Put himself
did it.
in.
He was unbelievable because he had the background. His family. I think
Oh,
his
I watched
brothers.
it. Yeah.
Your brother a lifter
Eugene.
too.
Yeah, man.
I mean, he was.
I watched it live.
This
Yeah, it
guy's
was real.
unbelievable. I people don't understand. They don't understand about Miami. They don't understand about you and everything that's gone on, but they don't understand about this guy. I mean, this guy is just a different kind of cat.
Yeah.
Of all the guys that played, Edrin wasn't a lifter really. He did that watermelon thing in the summer. Frankie wasn't a lifter when he came in. Portis definitely wasn't a lifter. He couldn't bench 185. I don't think.
Yeah.
He was strong in the hips and legs though, but he wasn't real strong upper body. This guy could do any.
Yeah, he was a freight train.
He was different, man.
So
Different
out of
kind.
all the running backs coaches you've ever had, what makes Don Soldinger so different, good, in his own regard?
He reminds me of my running back coach in the NFL I had in Buffalo and Denver. They rode me every day. I was like, damn, why the fuck does he keep riding me, man? Leave me the fuck alone. and he just stay on my ass. They were real anal about knowing where to go, knowing what you need to do on the field, what everybody else is doing. I'm just here to worry about myself, coach. I can't worry about what the receivers are doing on the backside over there, but he had us.
So he was part of that test. He made that test for you guys.
Did he? You don't do the test, you don't play. I was like, what the fuck?
Had to block all the blocking assignments.
Yeah.
But it makes you a better ball player if you understand where your blocks are coming from, and what who you're reading and what you're. A lot of guys, if you coach from behind, if you don't coach from the front and look at their eyes, they don't. They're all invariably they all look at the ball, and they don't set good pockets.
And the thing for me was I'm a visual learner. So you just get up there and just talk about, oh, you need to do this, do that. I go in a la land. So I would get to learn on the test when he's on the board.
On the board.
The day of going on how it's supposed to go. So I was like, oh, okay. Now I can see it. I see it now.
visual.
But if he talk about it,
Yeah, you have
I'm
to
just like-
visualize it. Yeah, you
yeah,
have
I'm
to
just
visualize
like,
it.
fuck that.
Yeah.
But but a guy like that, when people see the potential and what you have, because the potential that you have, and you're tough sometimes to coach. Of all the guys I said, you're probably the hardest to coach.
for real?
Oh yeah,
Me?
but not surly, Willis, but hard. Sometimes you like, I don't want to know about everybody else. I want to know about what I got to do. But to know the whole scheme makes you a better ball player.
Yeah.
That's why I did that. And so I kept forcing it. I kept feeding you with that because I know it makes you better. And I know that if you, hey, you did it. You were surprised when I said who's the best back. You had the best of any back that's ever been at Miami.
Yeah, I was surprised at that one.
It's not surprising. That's what you did, and I'm proud of you.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Here's another curveball. Is there any feeling outside of family related matters
Yeah.
and birth of your children, grandchildren, whatever? Is there any greater feeling than a big game in the Orange Bowl?
What a travesty they tore that thing down.
What like
It's a travesty.
like that was the biggest shithole of all time, but it was our shithole.
That's right.
Right?
It's the best stadium. I was there when Joe Auer took the first kickoff back for the touch for the Dolphins. I played in the Orange Bowl against Miami High as a kid.
I was say, who the fuck is
There's nothing like the Orange Bowl. You can't even tell.
Right.
you know-
So for the generation that missed it, like, Coach, so I moved from Brooklyn in September 1975, so I'm 6 years old at that time. First football game I ever attend in my life is the Steelers and Cowboys. Lynn Swan's unbelievable
I was on the
acrobatic.
field for that game.
Wait.
I wasn't born.
No.
First game I ever attended, and that's how I became a psycho Pittsburgh Steeler, because as soon as I saw the black and yellow, I was like, that's my team. I was 6, but it was in the Orange Bowl.
That's right. I was working for AP, for Associated Press on that game.
Wow.
They got me. Yeah, they were taking pictures, so I was running pictures back inside. They had a place underneath the bowl where they developed them.
How do you describe to whoever's watching us the feeling of just a big game against a Florida State, Florida, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, you name it?
The Orange Bowl is one of the best places to play, I think. I mean, I've been to Michigan, I've been to Virginia Tech's pretty good, pretty loud. FSU's pretty loud.
How loud was our place when we
There's
were
nothing like the bowl.
when we were amped up?
Yeah.
That West End zone,
And nobody was, when we were kids, 17,000,
empty.
18,000. I went to a Miami High game, Miami High Gables game, that drew 55,000 in the bowl.
A Soul Bowl was getting more fans.
That's right.
by a mile.
Exactly. And Miami Hurricanes would draw 17,000 people.
Crazy.
And high schools were drawing more than Miami.
Not when we played, but I don't know if you ever heard about the Soul Bowl, right?
Just so.
Soul Bowl, Miami
Bowl.
Northwestern against Miami
Jackson, Northwestern.
Yeah,
They were bringing 55
man, it was
Yeah.
rocking, man.
Wow.
at the Orange Bowl.
Friday nights, rocking.
We played them when Perriman was there. When Brett was playing for
Northwestern.
Northwestern.
And Mel Bratton was on that.
No,
back-
but Mel wasn't on that.
It wasn't
team.
on that team.
Albert Finney was.
Oh, Albert Finney. Remember Albert
Finney.
Yeah.
And
Remember him, yeah.
the AD, Andre Williams is the AD at Northwestern. He was the quarterback. And 3D Johnson was a defensive lineman. He passed. The quarterback, that.
Was that Anthony Dawkins back?
Who was a quarterback that came to Miami from Northwestern that Randy recruited?
Ja'Cory.
Oh,
Ja'Cory
Yeah,
Harris.
yeah.
His
Ja'Cory.
dad was on that
Oh, wow,
team.
really?
Oh, for real?
He was a defensive end, I think, on that team. Northwestern that year, when we played them in the bowl with Perriman, they gave up 270 yards rushing in 10 games, 27 yards a
Who was
game.
Billy Rose? Was
No, that was they got
Goldsmith?
Coffee. Roger Coffee was.
Coach Coffee?
Yeah, Roger Coffee was the coach, and we played him, and it was a 2014 game. We beat them 20-14, and I had to sit down. The All-City free safety wasn't doing his homework. His name Anthony Pope, and
I remember.
I sat his ass
Anthony
down.
Pope, yeah.
I sat his ass down.
Yeah.
Coach, so
Man, I could talk with this guy.
I know.
There's a lot of history. A lot of history right there in Dade County. Just
a lot.
He's from the 954, dog. I mean, he's from the
Go
other
ahead.
side, man.
So, want to wrap up with a couple questions here because we could probably go for another 5 hours.
We could sit here all afternoon.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
love it.
enjoy it.
Oh, man, I love it.
They're comfortable.
So,
Yeah.
Coach, we're a little over a week away from the season. Everyone's getting very excited, obviously. Miami is they obviously acquired Carson Beck. We spoke a couple weeks ago. Willis is a big fan of Carson Beck.
I like Carson.
What do you see from Miami this year, Coach?
You know what? This is 4, I think, for him.
This is his
Yeah.
4th year.
And 4 is the key number to me. Mm-hmm. It takes to rebuild a program the way you want it to rebuild it. It takes 4 years. I mean, he's done a great job. Last year, I was so disappointed defensively because they gave up so many explosive plays. Heatherman's doing a hell of a job, with the pursuit drills and string out drills. He's kind of like Jimmy a little bit, keeping it real simple, let them run to the ball, swarm the football, and go, I think they're going to be good. I think their secondary's a lot better. And I think Dawson does a great job. And Kevin's doing a good job, Beard. These receivers who you don't even know, they're young guys, are excellent.
Yeah.
And the backs are very close to what we had. They're great kids. They're old school guys that aren't afraid to work, aren't afraid to compete. They're competing against each other. The guy came from South Dakota State, I think, or something like that. He's not afraid to walk into that room. He thinks he thinks like Willis. I'm the best.
I belong.
And a good kid. He said, just give me my opportunity and I'll show you. And that's all you need is an opportunity. However it's done, EJ wasn't happy either, with that thing either. EJ used to complain, he says, but I went to the league, I was never hurt. So they want the opportunity. So these guys are going to be good. Plus the offensive line is unbelievable.
That was what I was gonna ask you.
And-
So I see us. I personally see us, even though Carson Beck was a high dollar acquisition. I see us as a 60-40, 65-35 run oriented team because you got the horses interior.
If I was at the University of Miami now, and I've talked to some guys, I've talked to some of the analysts, I would go back a little bit to two-back stuff. Because everybody's in that 4-2. When you spread everybody out, they get in that 4-2 defense, and they don't teach the game. That's how they start teaching the game, out of a 4-2. I don't think you can teach the game out of 4-2. I think you got to teach defenders, linemen, how to read linemen. Whether it's a pass set, whether it's a hook block, whether it's a down block, and you got to be able to teach reads that way, and nobody does it. You go back to two-back, and you got a guy like Lofton. See, I think Lofton.
I brought that up on.
I think Lofton is a big key to the offense. If you take Lofton, he can play tight end. You can split him out. He's good enough as a receiver. He can play fullback. He can play H-back. You don't have to substitute with that guy. So now defense is kind of screwed because you can be in a spread set and you still got to be in that 4-2 with the extra DBs. And now you come bring him back in the backfield at a two-back.
He's a Swiss
thing,
Army knife. This
and
kid.
now you got a problem. You got damn DBs there
Could be the
with
Najee
two
Davenport.
linebackers, and now you start running two-back stuff. You see, and I think you have to have a gap scheme like our powerhouse scheme. When people start blitzing you, you got to go in and up. You got to be able to block back, kick, pull, and go, and it prevents that. Plus, I think you need an unbalanced scheme. We did a lot of unbalanced stuff, on the goal line and things like that. And we did extra stuff with Willis. Matter of fact, I picked it up for one of Jimmy's coaches, and what we did is we would go when we went into a jumbo package, we would go offset the fullback, and we'd go and bring the Z in motion and we go Z power O FX and bring that guy and the guard, and then Willis would step back, look like he'd run in a slam, and then come back to that side. And he's walking in the end zone against people that we never could do that with. Became a real good play on the goal line, So we did stuff like that. And if you don't teach the lineman reads and things like that, if you don't teach the game the way it's supposed to be taught, very hard to defend a team that way. So I would be playing a lot of play action and a lot of passing off the play action because you don't get sacked off the play action passes.
So this was my final question to you, and then obviously, Nevin, if you have any more. I asked Willis a couple weeks ago, maybe your perspective's a little different. Do you think Mario Cristobal is the coach to bring the University of Miami back to that prominence?
I like Mario. Mario was a player when we recruited him, and Louis played for us, his brother. I like Mario. I think recruiting-wise and everything else, to me, if you got to do what Jimmy did. Jimmy gave you a boundary. In other words, he didn't. He wasn't on. He looked at what every week at the end were you guys producing, doing the right thing, but he let you. He give you a boundary to work in. You can't just squeeze everybody into a little hole. Give people a boundary. He's got excellent coaches. Let them coach. Let Dawson coach. Let Heatherman coach. I mean, you get your input, you organize the thing. He says the right things. He's trying to bring the culture back. Yeah, I think Mario's the right guy.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody else. You can't bring an outside guy in.
Yeah. I see. That was a good answer. And, I catch a lot of heat not heat, but I get a lot of brushback from some of the former players. You go hard at Mario and this and that. And I think, Coach, one of the reasons I do is because I really believe in that Miami mindset like you're accustomed to. And that's the competition that I'm really calling out to him. We expect better. We expect more.
Yeah.
So coach like you played when you're here.
Yep.
Don't blame it on, just take accountability. Look, man, and just do better and win. It really pissed me off last year. I didn't get disappointed. I got pissed off. I think we choked away that season.
Yes,
the generational quarterback.
Very disappointing.
And that shit really pissed me off, and we should have never lost to that. All right, Georgia Tech, we know we got better personnel. It's a game we should have won, but okay, we still had a second chance, and we should not have given away a 3-touchdown lead against Syracuse.
Nevin, if you're not doing the job, if you're not getting it done, which I love that guy, by the way. He's a great guy. The defensive coordinator was a good guy.
Yeah.
He wasn't getting it done.
Yeah, you got to go, man.
Business decision. I don't know if you got to go, but you call him in.
It's a business
decision. And then you call a guy in. You got your parameters. You let him go, and you're on. You just don't let him keep going. You don't keep giving him more string. Pull the string and say, bro, stop the big plays. Don't give up the big pass. Don't give up the big run. Keep everything. Hey, the first thing I learned defensively, and I was a defensive coach for 9 years. Keep everything in front of you and keep everything inside you. If you do that, if you keep contained and you keep everything in front of you, you're probably going to win most of your games. That didn't happen, and they had a national championship team last year. And I told you before we started the program, this thing, since they let us go, they don't develop the talent. Willis was a talented guy, but that season. We developed him into a stud. He was a Heisman Trophy winner to me. He got screwed.
Yeah.
He was a Heisman Trophy winner. Come on, that was the most fabulous season.
Great.
Of any guy.
I agree.
Yeah. And so, these are the things. Develop what you got. When you develop good talent, you can't lose.
Do I not say it every program?
Development. Yep.
Every single program. So last question, Coach, and just what an honor, man. Really just enjoyed it so
It's
much.
raining. Coach can't go out in that rain.
Yeah.
Gotta keep him in here.
Last question. Who is the most, of all the coaches you've been around at the University of Miami, I'm not even going into high school and anything, who's been the most influential coach that you've coached under and been around? From Schnellenberger, Jimmy Johnson, Butch Davis, whoever it is.
Well, Howard gave me my shot.
Mm-hmm.
If you really look at Howard's career, you go, wow, man.
Yeah.
Coach for Bear Bryant.
Hall of Famer.
Undefeated Dolphin team. The guy was a brilliant guy in the passing game. The guy was brilliant. I only coached a spring with him. I wish I regret not coaching more with him, but it has to be Jimmy. Jimmy is, psychologically and everything else.
Right.
I mean, he was hard. He wasn't hard. He's a good guy. He was all business, man.
I love it.
Which is okay.
I love it.
He called. I give you the last story. I mean, he has some stories on me too. But the last story, for 2 years I was working there. He calls me in the office one day. He says, "You like working here?" I said, "Man, I love it. What, are you kidding me?" I said, "It's great." He says, "Good. Start recruiting some kids, because if you don't recruit kids," he says, "you ain't gonna have a job." So I said, "Coach," I said, it's Miami Vice, and it was in the 80s. I would get kicked out of high schools if I was
We're going through the whole lot.
I was getting kicked out of high schools. I went to a ball game at West Orange High School, and Georgia coaches are going in the press. It was pouring rain. Georgia coaches in the press. Florida coaches. I knocked on the door. "Can I come in?" No, Miami, no. They wouldn't let me in. And it was a tough thing till I developed relationships. So I started making excuses. And Jimmy says to me, gets up behind his desk, he says, "Hey, don't tell me what you can't do. Tell me what you can do. Go get players or you ain't got a job. Get out of the office." Well, I understand that.
Why they wasn't letting you in the locker room?
Because they didn't like Miami. When you went up to Central Florida, it was Florida State, Florida, Georgia, Alabama. They wouldn't let a Miami coach. I had to come back. I couldn't go into high schools and go to an office and go back to see the coach. I would have to sneak back there to do that. If I went to the office, say, "Hey, come back at 3 o'clock. Well, I had 70, 80, 90 schools to go to.
Yeah.
I had to go see them, in the morning and stuff. And I didn't have a GPS, so I couldn't find, So it was hard. It was hard recruiting at the time. But they didn't like Miami at the time.
I do have one. All right, you
I got
go.
one.
Good.
After you left Miami, did you not have an opportunity to go to any other school? Or you just didn't want to?
You know what? I talk about this with my wife. I never put my name on it. I'm not a network. I'm not a business guy. Money was never important to me. She owned a mortgage company. She was making pretty good money at the time.
Yeah, you let us know all the time.
Yeah, when I
He used to be in the meetings. I don't need this fucking shit.
yeah.
Money.
Exactly. We had some real estate. We had some properties. But I never made money at Miami.
Yeah.
I never made any money at Miami. I'm not, hey, and you know what? I loved you guys. I wanted to see you guys be successful. I'm a ball coach is what I am. I've always been that way. If I make money, right now I could go in right now and do as good. I'm 80 years old and I could coach right now. I guarantee you. I'm in good shape. All I do is work out. And
Still walk and do the weights?
Yeah, with the weights, I do that. I walk. I have a spinning bike. I got T-boned on my bike at 68. Car ran right over me.
Yeah, you
Can't
told me.
hurt steel.
Love it.
I came out. I was all cut up and everything else, and I got up and just limped home. I mean, it just I'm a ball coach. That's what I am.
I want to see if you remember this. One day we was at practice in Butch. We had like a bad practice, and he said, "Everybody run off the field, including the coaches."
I ain't
I'm
running.
not fucking running off no field. I mean, all the other coaches are running out, jogging off the players, and he's walking with his fucking towel around his neck. He was talking so much shit when he got back in the room. Who the fuck does Bush think he is telling me to run off the fucking field?
Hey, I was too old to run off the field. No,
You remember that?
I don't really remember that, but I don't put it past me. That's the way I am.
I do have one more question
Okay.
that just came to me. So you've seen every sports dynasty, both college and pro, whether it be football, hockey, baseball, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Has there ever been a movement like what this University of Miami football program has meant nationally, like what we did in a 25-year period?
It's unbelievable. Nevin, it's to me, I'm so proud to be a part of that because I was like you. I'm like you. I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm.
You're an avid fan.
Yeah.
You know the game. You actually got into the inner workings of things. If Howard Schnellenberger stayed here, and Jimmy, don't get me wrong, if Jimmy stayed here, I mean, Jimmy was the same way. Jimmy was phenomenal to work for. But if Howard stayed here, and Jimmy and Howard really at the time, Jimmy said, "I'm not Howard Schnellenberger. I'm who I am," and he's right. I mean, he's not at all like Howard. He's different, but he's just as good or maybe better. But Howard was unbelievable too now.
No question.
And if he stayed, you never no telling how many national championships. If Jimmy stayed, no telling how many national
Right.
championships.
I mean,
It was a poster child for how you're supposed to.
and just the cultural, like we're like the Hell's Angels. Like we're in our own bubble.
I have a thing on my wall in with my all pictures, and you should see the staffs. Chuck Pagano,
Chucky boy.
Chucky boy, is
Dave Campo, Tony Watts,
Campo.
Hubbard
I see
Alexander.
Campo. I did a radio show up in Jacksonville. Dave does it with Leon Searcy, and I recruited Searcy. I did the radio show, but Campo. Every guy is either in the pro. Every guy is super, super successful. The only schmuck that's not successful is me. I didn't get to why people, kind of stay away from. I don't know. I say what's on my mind.
Listen, we love
You're
you,
not
man.
gonna. You're not gonna change.
You're
me.
a legend. I mean, I can tell you, like, I know everything about the program.
Yeah.
And you're an epic
appreciate it.
legend for life, man. You're UM lore.
Yeah.
And what a thrill, man! Honestly, what an honor and a thrill. And it won't be I think you're gonna have to be a regular, as far as like, at least monthly. Just drop
Anytime
in
you want.
on progress reports.
Get his number. Get his number for you.
Yeah, this is my guy, man.
Anytime you want.
This is my guy.
I think you guys do a great job.
Yeah,
And that's me talking, and whatever happened. I don't.
Coach.
I look at you right now, and hey, let's go.
Yeah, Coach, you know what? My situation, honestly, and, some fans hate my guts, whatever it is. Listen, that's a family situation. I should have stayed in-house.
That's right.
Period.
Yep.
Right?
Whatever
Period.
it was, I mean, like I said, if you ran over me while I was coaching at Miami, I wouldn't know who you were.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get involved in that. I didn't want to be involved.
No,
I'm
you
about,
didn't. No,
I'm
you
about
didn't.
winning
Tunnel
football
vision.
games.
Tunnel vision.
Yeah,
You had a
yeah,
job
yeah.
to do, man. Yeah. What a great honor. Thank you.
It's
Absolutely.
an honor to be on your show.
Anything else, Willis?
Thank
No.
you, Willis, for inviting me.
No.
Thank you for coming, Coach.
Well,
Yeah.
guys, man, what a pleasure it was. This is a very interesting dynamic.
How to take you to school,
Yep. No, what an
I
interesting
didn't know half the
dynamic.
names they were saying either. Don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
so we got the young bucks on this side of the room here. So, guys, if you're not subscribed by now, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what you're doing. This was such an amazing podcast. We do have K2. Nevin, can you talk a little bit about this, K2?
Yeah, I'd love to. It's lemon lime, and it's a hydration formula.
There, Nevin with his comedy.
Yeah, we're working on Viagra.
We're gonna,
With Himalayan pink salt in it as well.
You have no idea.
we're gonna drop this in the description, the link to go and buy this. And obviously, as we end every show, we'll catch you guys on the next one.